Hello and welcome to Joy Newsroom. The news is live on the Joy News channel and on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. We're also live on all our social media platforms. We are Joy News on TV. Coming up, 4 confirmed dead and many missing after an explosion at a quarry site at Shama in the western region.
4 have been found dead. They are at the mortuary at the moment. 3 blacks and 1 white lady. The other 4 Chinese, we can't find them at the moment. The DC is here. We are trying to get excavator to try and see whether we can get the remaining 4 white men who have lost.
You live to the area for updates shortly, and also Ghana's 63.5% upward adjustment of farm gate price for cocoa for the new cocoa season becomes the highest in West Africa in the last 15 years.
As custodians of our lands, I'm appealing to you and I'm to release farmlands to facilitate large-scale commercial farming under this program. Unlike in the past, where government acquired lands under executive instruction.
An armored regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces commissions a recreational block in Sunyani in memory of soldier Sharif Imoro, who was gruesomely killed in Ashaman.
Your tenure of office saw many changes, including infrastructural expansion of office and accommodation for both officers and soldiers. Significantly has been your constant support for training at the armored training school.
We'll bring you details of this story shortly. My name is Faustina Safo. Thanks for choosing us. We start from the western region, where 4 people have been confirmed dead, with many others still missing after an explosion at a quarry site in Shama in the western region on Sunday dawn. Several other bodies have been discovered and others injured. Information available to Joy News suggests that the explosion occurred at a quarry site at G Omni located in Shama. Many night shift workers, said to be Ghanaian and Chinese nationals, have been burnt beyond recognition. Let's take you live to the scene now. Our correspondent is on the ground, Natalia Kwanzaa. Thanks for joining us. Ina, you've been at the site all morning. Paint a picture for us. What's the level of damage?
An explosion in less than 1 year. I mean, the site is beyond recognition. A lot have been destroyed. It's difficult for you to even identify what exactly was there. And it's unfortunate that this time, the cause of the explosion has not been established. But I can say that security agents, the stock of the police, NADMO, fire service, they are all there trying to do their best to find out the actual cause of this explosion, and also still searching for people who have gone missing, because just like you have indicated, only 4 persons have been identified who are dead, and then the others who have been injured.
Now, we understand some of the workers are still trapped at that site. What's the update with evacuation? Is it yielding any results?
Well, after the time I left there around 11 a.m., they were still working on it. I mean, that's more together with the security agencies I had mentioned earlier. We're still working on, getting these people out of the rubble. And I must also add that 4 Chinese nationals are on the run. They are supposedly, according to my sources, to be owners of the quarry site. They are on the run, and the police is looking for these 4 Chinese nationals. And so, with all the assurances I had listened to when I was on site, they are doing their best to, unravel the rubble to see if those others who are not yet rescued, can't be found. And we pray that they are found alive.
Now, you've been on the grounds. Do you know what triggered this explosion?
Well, it hasn't been identified yet, but we are still there. Our ears and eyes are at Shama. We are following keenly. As and when we get any information as to what really triggered this explosion, we let our viewers know.
Thank you so much. Natalia Kwanzaa is on the grounds in Shama. Grateful to have the District NADMO Coordinator, Michael Nyan, also joining us on this developing story. Michael, it's quite worrying. What's the latest on the rescue efforts at the explosion site? We know that some workers are still trapped there.
Yes, the latest issue on the ground is, yet we haven't found the missing staff. So we are also searching for them. But as I'm speaking to you now, we haven't seen anyone.
Have you been able to establish the cause of this explosion?
We haven't. At the moment, we haven't. But with National Service too, we are on the ground. So by the course of the day, maybe the cause of the fire will be established.
So what have you gathered with your initial assessment of the area, the number of people injured? Do you have a figure now? What do you have on ground?
Yes, so far it is confirmed that 4 people were dead, 5 were injured, 4 are missing, which we are not finding them. So at the moment, this was on the ground.
Now, we know that some residents and communities have also been affected by this explosion. You've been doing an assessment of the area. What's the impact?
Yes, some of the communities around the place have been affected. About 4 or 5 communities were affected by their buildings. Their buildings, they are receiving on cracks, ceiling, and some of the cheap compounds also affected. So we are collating the data. So we won't finish today. Maybe tomorrow we will finish.
So let's understand the number of people that have been affected so far. I'm sure they'll be seeking relief from NADMO. Are you well equipped to provide that relief for them at this time?
As for the relief items, as I just said, we don't have it now. My regional boss is on the way coming. Maybe when he comes, you put our heads together. Regional minister is at the scene at the moment. So I think by the time regional minister leaves, we will sort out the issues of the review assets.
Now, fortunately, we're also joined by the Member of Parliament for Shama constituency, Erickson Abeka. Thanks for joining us here on Joy Newsroom. Now, we know that it's not only the site that has been destroyed, houses, residents affected. How do you intend to contain this situation? Mr. Abeka, can you hear me?
Yeah, hello. Yes, I can hear you.
Great. I'm glad you've joined us here at Joy Newsroom. We're asking that we know that it's not only the site that has been destroyed. Houses, residents of neighboring communities have also been affected. How do you plan to contain this situation?
So thank you for the opportunity. Honestly, we woke up to hear a very sad incident. I mean, being at the site, we are going around trying to assess the extent of damage. Surely we would need governmental support because the assembly is not endowed enough to come to the aid of the victims. Though the extent of damage has not been fully estimated, but we will still need central government support and other well-researched particularly industries is a great within the national entity that is all common to support the business.
Mr. Becker, I would like you to position yourself rightly for me so that I can hear you better. But then we're looking at the extent of damage. There are concerns about what actually triggered this explosion. And we know that some Chinese nationals are on the run. Have you heard about this? What's your initial information or briefing you've gotten?
Yes, but briefing, 4 Chinese are missing, but you can't say for sure whether they are on the run or they have buried by the surface. So, investigation is still ongoing. Because from the bodies recovered, so there's 3 Ghanaians and 1 Chinese, they have they have died. Others have also been returned from hospital. 4 are still receiving treatment on the patient. So the Chinese, the 4 Chinese, I can't say for sure. They're still searching through, but the vehicles were badly damaged. And at the time of the hour that night, between 10 to 11 o'clock, one wonders whether they will have any difficulty to escape, looking at the rapidity of the explosion.
It raises a question about the damage some of these sites are having on our community, especially your area is a high-risk area because you have a lot of quarrying sites there. What are you doing to avoid this occurrence in future?
Not just a national policy, particularly following the recent incident. But you have to narrow it down to the Sama entry, where you have a lot of quarry mining ongoing. And you in touch with the responsible agencies so that they actually work the letter of their mandate, and so that proper things are put in place.
Now, NADMO is concerned relief items are yet to get to your constituents. What are you doing about this?
We are still in touch and then trying to see areas where the damage is very, very high and that's what we can do. But we are still talking to authorities to ensure that as soon as possible, the relief items can come over.
Okay, we'll be monitoring this story. Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel Erickson Abeka is Member of Parliament for Shama, giving us updates on the situation in the region. We're hearing of an explosion there. We're monitoring this story and give you updates as at when we have them. Away from this tragic story, let's now focus on the cocoa sector, where Ghana's upward adjustment of farm gate price of cocoa beans has become the highest in West Africa in the last 15 years. Now, this was after President Akufo-Addo announced a 63.5% increment from 800 Ghana cedis to 1,308 cedis for a bag in this new cocoa season. The increment comes after cocoa farmers intensified calls for an upward review of cocoa prices to prevent the prevalence of smuggling and farmers turning farmlands into galamsey sites. The president made this announcement at Tepa in the Ashanti region during the opening of the 2023-2024 cocoa season.
Until recently, international prices of cocoa have remained relatively low and made worse by COVID-19. In spite of this, Cocoa Board and government have been taking the very hard decision of increasing producer price of cocoa. Cocoa prices have increased from 7,600 cedis per ton in 2016 to 12,800 cedis per ton in 2022, a significant increase of 68%. This has had an adverse impact on Cocoa Board's financial performance. However, the sustainability of the entire industry hinges on a well-remunerated producer who's willing to invest in business only with the certain that government will pay the appropriate price. The international market is beginning to pick up, and government, in keeping with our promise to our gallant cocoa farmers, has today increased cocoa prices from 12,800 cedis per ton to 20,943 cedis per ton, or 1,308 cedis per bag. That price is 70.5% of the gross FOB price and is equivalent to $1,821 per ton. It is the highest to be paid to cocoa farmers across West Africa in some 50 years. With the predicted stable prices above 2,600 United States dollars threshold, government will continue to honor our farmers with good prices in the years ahead. Indeed, better days are ahead.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, we're bringing in one of our individuals to have a conversation about this. We know that we'll be joined shortly by Cocoa Board, but we don't have him here. We have Mr. Pomasi, who is joining us right now. He's a civil society activist, and he's joining us right now with more. I know that you're convinced about the increment, that it's a good way to go. But the question is, will this actually solve the issue of cocoa smuggling?
Hello, good afternoon. Can you please hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Good. Good afternoon once again to your cherished viewers and listeners, especially all cocoa farmers in Ghana and cocoa agro farm members at Ghana Civil Society Cocoa Platform members. Well, yes, to some extent I think the price is good, but not all that good. It could have been better than this. But back to your question, is it going to stop smuggling? It depends on the price, especially Ivory Coast would also announce. If their price will be within the same price that Ghana has announced, then I'm sure that there will be no motivation for farmers to, smuggle cocoa to Côte d'Ivoire. It also depends on the managers of the economy, ability to also stabilize our currency. If in the course of the season we experience depreciation in cedi, I am sure that smuggling may continue. But for now, I don't see any motivation for farmers to, smuggle cocoa to Côte d'Ivoire. Yeah.
Now, there are also concerns about the cost. This is the highest increase we're seeing in the sub-region. And so there are concerns, can actually producers...
At Pennzoil, we have one job, pioneering a motor oil so advanced, you don't have to think about your motor oil. Instead, you can think about how your engine sounds, how your stomach feels as the RPMs build, how your wheels hug the curves, and how, with the Pennzoil Platinum up to 15-year, 500,000-mile protection guarantee, your adventures will be many. Pennzoil, long may we drive. Find it at Firestone Complete Auto Care. Enrollment required. Keep your receipts. Other conditions apply. See pennzoil.com/warranty for full details.
Sell their produce, because if you're producing cocoa and then you don't have individuals buying it, there's a problem. And then we also have concerns that the PBC, which is the country's highest purchaser, indigenous purchaser of cocoa, is struggling financially. Can they actually afford this?
It's not only PBC. I mean, this is a peculiar problem for the local license buying companies. Once the season, has commenced yesterday, we expect the seed fund to also be distributed to the LBCs so that they will be able to, purchase the beans from farmers. Don't forget that these local LBCs had already made their plans, and this year we had the season, commencing a month earlier than the usual season. So I am sure that some of these LBCs have already made their plans against October, getting guarantees from banks and all of that. So if Cocoa Board has now commenced the season, they have to also do everything possible to ensure there is adequate funding in the system so that the LBCs will be able to purchase the cocoa from farmers. Some of the farmers have already started, drying cocoa on the mat. Some even have cocoa in their sheds. So from tomorrow, possibly Monday, you will see, the shares of the purchasing clerks being busy. And if farmers take cocoa there and there is no money, I don't think that farmers will be happy, especially hearing the new price. So it is also incumbent on government and Cocoa Board to make sure that once they have announced the commencement of the season, adequate seed fund distribution should also be made so that the LBCs won't suffer, especially the local LBCs. The foreign LBCs normally don't depend on government seed funds, and they are always at the advantage point, because for them they already have money flowing from their guys outside the country, and they need to feed their plans, so they will just enter the market and start buying, and at the end of the day the local LBCs will suffer. And here is the case: we need to protect our local LBCs, so government must ensure the seed fund is also in the system.
Ishmael, stay with us right now. Let's bring in Fifi Boafo, his general manager in charge of public relations with Cocoa Board. Thank you so much. He's joining us right now via Zoom. Now, this is 63.5% increment. First of all, how did you arrive at this figure?
Thanks for the opportunity. Usually cocoa prices are determined by a committee known as the Producer Price Review Committee, made up of Cocoa Board, licensed buying companies, farmers, the Bank of Ghana, ministry responsible for cocoa, the Ministry of Finance, hauliers, among other industry stakeholders. And we take into consideration the weighted average. We say weighted average because I'm sure a lot of people will go on the internet and quote the figures at the prevailing market at international level and use it as the basis of calculating the farm gate price. But the farm gate price is actually determined based on sales over the years, because we start selling way ahead before the season begins. So the weighted average is what is used in determining the farm gate price. When the farm gate price is arrived, when the weighted average is arrived on, then we take into consideration other industry costs, and that has been the practice over the years. However, this year there was a change. Usually, what we used to do was to take out industry costs, and then we arrive at the net FOB, and the percentage not less than 15% is given to the cocoa farmer, not less than 70% is given to the cocoa farmer. However, this year, the new directive was that we should give gross FOB, a percentage of the gross FOB, as a way of insulating farmers from any excesses in the industry costs, such that farmers' income would rise. So this time around, we use the net gross FOB in determining the price, hence what we see today. It is also worth noting that over the last 6 years, we've seen very poor prices at the international market. But beginning April this year, the price has started picking up and it is moving ahead significantly. There are those who even look at the current price and say that, well, we should have used that as the basis of determining what the farmers are receiving. But it is important to know that we started selling the crop way before April, where we started seeing that adjustment in the price at the international market. So largely, this is what has informed the price that was announced yesterday in TEPA.
I know that Cocoa Board will get the beans if there are farms to grow the cocoa. The grim reality, though, is that illegal mining is taking over farms and cocoa production areas. What are your steps to reverse this?
We have consistently said that illegal mining is not a better alternative to cocoa farming, because with illegal mining, it's a temporary thing, a very short period where you get the revenue from the cocoa, from the illegal mining. Whereas with cocoa, it takes you a longer period of time, many years, where you and then your children, and sometimes your grandchildren, will inherit what you've invested in. So illegal mining is not an alternative. But we also admit that sometimes the enticement that comes in the form of the cash that is offered to the cocoa farmers at the time these illegal miners come, and look at what the farmers go through in producing cocoa, they find it, well, maybe that could be a relief for them, and they go in for the illegal mining. But at a time where we see that the international price is picking up, so those who are doing the calculation, looking at, what is happening today at the international market? So what is being sold today will also have an effect going into next year. So suddenly, the years ahead gives us a better promise in terms of how much farmers will get. So there's every reason why if we're a farmer now to concentrate on your cocoa farming, because the prospect looks better. Because as the international price increase, definitely it won't have the effect we are looking for on cocoa farmers.
Before we let you go, there are concerns that the country's largest indigenous cocoa purchasing company, PBC, is struggling financially, having seen a steep decline in the market shares in the last 5 years. You would agree with that. Now, how do you then expect them to purchase this product with the new agreement?
The last time I engaged your network on this issue, I made mention of the fact that for us as Cocoa, we consider PBC as an important stakeholder or an important business buying company who buy on behalf of Cocoa Board. And on our part, we shall continue to offer them the necessary assistance and support that will help PBC, just like Ishmael said, other local LBCs to be able to also buy for the country, because yes, it's imperative that we support indigenous Ghanaian businesses to also stay within the space. So Cocoa Board shall continue to support PBC and other licensed buying companies in order for them to perform the task ahead of them. Yes, we admit that they have challenges, but that notwithstanding, there's every reason why we need to have PBC to stay. If you look at some very remote communities, PBC has become the buyer of last resort. They will go there. There are some private companies who do not find it enticing to go there and buy, for which reason you will need PBC to stay afloat to do that job for you. So management of Cocoa Board will continue to offer the assistance which we've offered PBC in their trying times to get them stay afloat.
There are concerns about the smuggling of cocoa to neighboring countries and how Cocoa Board is helping address this. What's the update with your fight against this?
The price announced is one of the means we are using in addressing the issues of smuggling. If you consider last year, because of the fluctuating nature of our currency at the time we announced the price, it was hard hitting to us because you announced the price when the difference between us and Cote d'Ivoire was just about 70 Ghana cedis. But because the cedi dropped drastically, it had a huge impact on the difference between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire price. And that was a motivating reason, of course, in Togo as well, a motivating reason for people to smuggle. We do not anticipate that the current price that has been announced, even though Cote d'Ivoire are yet to announce their price, of course, we have some engagement, we have a fair idea of what will be happening. We do not see any major difference between Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana, which will motivate people to smuggle cocoa outside our country. Yes, there are concerns about what happens to the currency. Over the last few months, we've seen a very stabilized cedi. The forecast and the anticipation is that the cedi will continue staying stronger. And if the cedi stays stronger, there will not be any motivating factor for people to smuggle it out. However, yesterday, the sector minister for Food and Agriculture made an emphatic statement that it will not happen beyond using price as a means of addressing the smuggling challenge. If it happens that people still consider it as an alternative to smuggle cocoa out of our country, government has plans that will help in dealing or addressing that issue head on. So yes, the plans have been put together to ensure that this concern is addressed this time round and we do not suffer the effect we suffered last year.
Public Affairs at Cocoa Board. Mr. Pumase, you're still with us. Now, are you convinced that this increment is enough motivation to encourage farmers not to let their farm be taken by illegal miners?
Yes, I have always also maintained that pricing is an essential element when it comes to sustainability of the industry. I believe that with the new price, it should actually motivate farmers to stay on their farmland. Yesterday, just when the price was announced, I quickly rushed to my farm. As I speak to you now, I'm in my farm, trying to protect every pod on the tree, because we have also had, serious challenge with the black pod. So talking about guarantee, guarantee is something I don't believe government has the will to fight guarantee. And to fight guarantee, pricing of cocoa should be the determinant here. And it's good that the price has gone up. So I want to see in future farmers resisting from selling farmland. Just like Titi said, you sell your farmland and then the money is consumed within a day. But the cocoa, you stay on your cocoa farm for a longer period of time. That would actually help you to improve your livelihood. So for me, I believe that, yes, the new price and in future price, because just as you also mentioned, we have also seen good, increase in the international market. As I speak now, it's around $3,800+ per ton. It shows clearly that government, if continues like this, government has no option than to continue to increase the producer price. So, fine, farmers must also, begin to understand the need to take all the good agricultural practices seriously. Protect your pot, protect your beans. That is the surest way to improve your livelihood. Yes.
Thank you so much. Ismail Pomasis, member, Civil Society Cocoa Platform. Now let's stay a bit longer with agriculture, because President Akufo-Addo has urged traditional authorities to release lands to facilitate large-scale commercial farming under Phase 2 of government's Planting for Food and Jobs program. He proposed a flexible payment arrangement between the custodians of the lands and farmers rather than the present order of upfront payments. The president also wants chiefs to refrain from releasing agricultural designated lands for real estate development. Nayal Jima was at the present meeting with the National House of Chiefs in Kumasi. He filed this report.
Million hectares of agricultural lands in the country are owned by traditional authorities. Under the PFG2, at least an agricultural zone of 300 hectares will be developed through public-private partnership. The zones will have all the necessary infrastructure to ensure all year-round farming. President Akufo-Addo is pleading with custodians of the land on flexible terms, since upfront payment discourages investors.
An agricultural zone under this program is described as a large contiguous tract of arable land of not less than 300 hectares. For each agricultural zone, government will partner with the private sector to provide necessary irrigation infrastructure, develop access roads to production hubs, extend power, i.e. solar, hydro, and provide mechanization services. As custodians of our lands, I'm appealing to you Nanano to release farmland to facilitate large-scale commercial farming under this program. Unlike in the past, the government acquired lands under executive instrument. Under PFJ2, we would entreat you to give lands out willingly to your subjects with the understanding that they pay back in kind and over time. The huge cost of paying for land upfront discourages agricultural investment. We're moving away from state land acquisition for agricultural purposes with the hope that this program will set up a new course for land acquisition. It's also come to my attention that already delineated agricultural lands are being released for real estate development. I thus encourage you to manage the temptation of converting lands for non-agricultural purposes, as our collective interest in food production depends on it.
Meanwhile, President of the National House of Chiefs, Ojiahohoya Ojibi II, wants fight against illegal mining enhanced to protect existing farmlands.
But one area that we should all be looking at is Galamsey. As much as possible, we should also try to check Galamsey. Otherwise, the existing farms will be destroyed. Nana President, we thank you for your address. Nana President is asking for what? Land. Land to produce food to feed ourselves. Land to produce produce for our industries. Land to give jobs to our people.
For Joy News, Nana Aljuma reporting.
Well, we're taking a quick breather here on Joy Newsroom. When we come back, we'll talk about a political risk analyst who has expressed worry about what he describes as a growing trend of deep partisanship in sensitive public institutions, including constitutionally mandated ones. Do stay with us.
We're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint as compared to other paint brands on the market. We take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Hello there. To provide timely information and to explain educational reforms and to discuss school models and interventions, the Ministry of Education, in partnership with the Teacher Education Journal, presents to you the first ever education TV talk show, the Edu Talk Show. The Edu Talk Show keeps you informed and updated on trends in the world of education.
The Ghanaian teacher is so versatile. Provide him the opportunity, train him, and that teacher will perform wonders.
Where are the women? They're doing very well academically, but they're not in the sciences and all of that. So technology is missing a lot more women that they could have had.
You need to tell the parents, at the moment, what you're getting is covering only an aspect of your child's education. And therefore, it's very difficult for you to make any decision with the limited information you have.
We still have more to do when it comes to safe school.
So join us as we speak to our guests on reforms taking place in Ghana's education sector. My name is Blessed Sogan, and I am your host.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, a political risk analyst has expressed worry about what he describes as a growing trend of deep partisanship in sensitive public institutions, including constitutionally mandated one. He says it should not be allowed to continue. Speaking on the alleged leak tape plotting the removal of IGP on Newsfile, Dr. Tioe Champon said it is a national security issue that threatens democracy in the country. Hence, it should be thoroughly investigated.
What are the terms of the reference of the committee, and have they been met? Largely, we all agree that that has been met. So let's just submit the report, and then we will take the follow-on actions as needed. But my big worry in all of this, which is the point that Theodore also has made, is, look, in all of these contestations and things we're watching on TV, it shows you the deep partisanship and the extent to which almost all of the key institutions in this country, including the constitutionally mandated ones, have all been, infested with this idea of, the partisanship, NDC, MPP, and to have, a senior police officer on tape make serious allegations, but I think that is really one of the big things that we should take away from all of this, beyond the treachery and the conspiracy to get the IGP out. The idea that, somebody who is connected or affiliated to one party can come in and use the instruments and institutions to, favor one side against the broader collective will of Ghanaians. For me, it's a very serious national security issue that goes to the heart of the constitutionalism that we're practicing.
Amidst call for the IGP to be invited and interrogated by Parliament's ad hoc committee, a former chairman of Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee in Parliament, Inusuf Hussaini, disagrees and argues the committee's work concluded with the tape authentication by witnesses.
The tapes are clear. You see, when a committee of the nature that is probing this issue now takes on many issues, the remit of the committee now becomes at large.
I think you should respond to my question.
What is relevant is that they established, one, that tape is authentic, except that portions of it have been doctored. So its authenticity has been established.
Do you believe in those claims that portions have been doctored?
I don't even believe in them. I don't believe in them. And two, so the committee should have ended its work right now. And two, the veracity of the conspiracy has been established beyond doubt. Alex Mercer says, look, it's not today that I started lobbying for that position. And I went to Bugrinabu. Asari says, look, even Bugrinabu directed us Malams. Conspiracy has been established and all met for one purpose. That's the definition of conspiracy. For a single purpose. To plot the removal of the IGP.
There's no basis to invite him.
He's not part of the leak tape. I'm just reading the terms of reference. I'm just reading that. I mean, it's a red herring, giant red herring. And if they invite the IGP, the committee will finish its work. Leave it. Many matters have come. Very serious, in my view. We've just been talking about.
However, the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Haruna Mohammed, believes inviting the IGP will bring finality to the matter.
I think that the committee, to be fair, has to invite the IGP because it may be true and it may be not true. So I think that the IGP should be invited to clear his side of the story so that at least in Parliament receiving the report, we'll see that there is some level of fairness, there is some level of representation. So for me, I don't agree with the fact that the IGP should not be invited. If the new audios or the videos that is there, if it falls within the terms of reference, and if it is not illegal, or if the committee has the power to look at them, I think that the committee can look. But if the committee doesn't, this should be added as appendix to the report that is going to Parliament, and Parliament will so look at it. But what I see afterwards here is that there should be a very competent commission that is put in place, that is headed by many security experts. But a judge must be put as a chairperson for this particular committee, an extended committee that will look at this particular matter. This matter is bordering on the security of this country. My security, your security, and everybody's security. So we need to look at this particular matter and get to the bottom of it, not to end it at the parliamentary committee level.
Well, the IGP will be facing the ad hoc committee of Parliament probing the leak tape on Tuesday. Stick to your most credible news source. We'll be bringing you full coverage of that. Now, the 154 Armored Regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces has commissioned a recreational block in Chiani in memory of slain soldier Sharif Imoro. The soldier was killed on 4th of March in Ashaman in 2023. Colonel Kofi Obriye, while speaking at the farewell paradise, said the late Private Imoro remains one of them and they will continue to seek justice for him. Precious Semevo has more in this report.
Some top brass of the Ghana Armed Forces, political heads of security services, friends and relatives witnessed the farewell parade. The first commanding officer of 154 Armored Regiment, Colonel Kofi Obriye in Sunyai in the Bono region. After 3 years in command, he handed over in the interim to second in command, Major Kwejo Ochi Prempe. In his remarks, Colonel Edward Owusu Ansan, Deputy Commander 15 Armored Brigade, acknowledged the exploit of Colonel Obriye in maintaining unity despite the challenges.
Your tenure of office saw many changes, including infrastructural expansion of office and accommodation for both officers and soldiers. Significantly has been your constant support for training at our training school and your sterling leadership, which has improved collaboration and cohesion among the units within the garrison. You operate an open door policy which endear you to your troops, their families, and the partners of the regiment.
The ceremony also saw the commissioning of a CCTV surveillance system and a junior rank recreational block in honor of the slain trooper Sharif Imoro at Ashaiman in March. He was stationed in Sunyai but was in Accra for a course. The case is still pending, but Colonel Obriye said they look forward to justice for Private Imoro.
As part of activities aimed at ensuring that his memory is not erased from the regiment, particularly considering the circumstances under which we lost him, we decided to name it after him, and the Chief of Army Staff has blessed us with that arrangement. We are here to commission it, and we believe that it will serve as a memory in his honor, and we always remember that we had once a soldier like Trooper Imoro Sharif who was lost painfully. In actual fact, we are still looking forward to justice being done in his name. His regimental number is 21556. So we took the last 4 digits to make the name of the facility.
He said the regiment requires support to boost the morale of personnel in the effective discharge of their duties.
As a new unit, in terms of manpower, we need to bring it up to a certain level. And I think over the period, by the kind courtesy of the Chief of the Army Staff, we have been able to increase our numbers considerably. But it comes again with infrastructure, in terms of office infrastructure, in terms of accommodation for troops, and the equipment that will complement all the efforts that are in place to ensure the regiment is well grounded. So once these areas are touched, and I'm sure the arrangements in place will ensure that going forward, these things will be put in place with time, and then the unit will be fully fledged to operate and perform its role.
Precious Semevo, Joy News, Sunyai.
Now let's head to the Upper West region, where Principal of McCoy College of Education in the Nandoli Kalio district of the Upper West region, Reverend Father Paul, has expressed worry over the myriad of challenges that bedeviled the college since its establishment almost 10 years ago. Key among them is the lack of a fence wall around the college, which gives opportunity to hoodlums and sexual predators to have a field day, thereby putting the lives of students at risk. There's more in this report by Rafiq Salam.
Speaking at the first congregation of the McCoy College of Education, principal of the college, Reverend Father Peter Paul Yeretu, enumerated the successful structure since its establishment almost 10 years ago, graduating maze of students.
Prof. Chairman, I would like to bring to your notice that with the results we are celebrating, we have 1 pass, 27 third class, 50 second class lower division, 56 second class upper division, and 9 first classes.
The college was established by the War Catholic Diocese to augment government effort in providing quality education to the people of Ghana. It operated for 4 years as a private institution before it was absorbed by the government as a public institution. Despite the remarkable success struck, it is still bedeviled with myriad of challenges, according to Reverend Father Peter Paul Yeretu.
We lack classroom and dormitory accommodation space. It is so dear that we have to hire 3 different private properties for students' accommodation for the past 5 years. It takes a lot of our internally generated fund to pay for these private properties. We lack the needed computers and furniture to catch up with the fast advancing technological world.
There is also the issue of lack of a fence wall around the college, which gives opportunity for marauders, armed robbers, and sexual predators to have a full day, who they want to draw the attention of the government to.
There is an urgent need for a fence wall around the college land. This will provide security for human persons and college property. We have had 2 attempted rape reports from outside and 3 robbery cases. We were lucky to apprehend one of the perpetrators of the last robbery, who took away a mobile phone from a student girl. He has since been jailed for 15 years. And at the moment, we are dealing with another robbery case. The police are still investigating.
Our Power Minister, Dr. Hafiz Bin Sali, accepted to help fill some of the challenges cherry-picking on the construction of the fence wall. Dr. Bin Sali, however, was not happy with the poor performance of candidates in the Basic Education Certificate Examination, BCE, in the region, urging the newly trained teachers to come on board with positive energy to reverse the negative trend.
The Nadoli-Keleo district has experienced a downward trend in the BECE performance for a couple of years. This is not a good development, and we cannot apportion all the blame to the pupils. The district assembly, through the district education oversight committee, has been working hard to address this problem. The poor attitude of some teachers, such as absenteeism and drunkenness during working hours, has also caught the attention of stakeholders. Against this background, I urge our newly trained teachers to come on board with positive energy to help reverse this negative trend.
There was anxiety and suspense that appears to be written on the faces of the graduates when this moment came, and the man in charge has seen it all in the field they are about to enter into. He does it
University of
meticulously
Cape
and with aplomb.
I, Professor Domin Dabire Kumpole, standing in for the Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, your mentoring institution. Now, hereby pronounce the graduates of the Bachelor of Education program of McCoy College of Education duly graduated.
In all, 143 students graduated with Bachelor of Education degree. 9 of them attained first-class honors, while 56 got second-class upper. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Nadoli.
On now to the sad news of a popular contestant of the 2021 National Science and Maths Quiz, James Lutherot. He's just aged 19 and he had been a pivotal member of the Keita Senior High School team in NSMQ event in the 2021 Grand Finale. Well, tragically, he has passed on. He succumbed to a brief illness on July 1, and it's very hard for us. Now, these were some of the moments we captured of him in this montage from the NSMQ.
With 4 carbons. Yes, Keita Senior High.
Thou glutamate.
That is correct. Lutherot.
False.
Yes. My sum in a neutral compound is always 0. So who am I? Yes, Lutherot.
Oxidation number.
Yes. I am the first of sorts. Yes, Lutherot.
Alpha particle.
Yes. Keita Senior High Technical School would like to effect a substitution. Francisca, it's been a pleasure having you. All the best. Lutherot. Man, a bat, and a whale. Lutherot.
True.
Yes.
For Keita Senior High Technical School. A round of applause, a round of applause, a round of applause. Can we please put it together, put it together,
He forever lives in our hearts. May his soul rest in perfect peace. And that's how we wrap up the bulletin here, Joy Newsroom. My name is Faustina Safo. For more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. Up next is the law. Samson will be here with his guest. They'll be discussing regulating the cyberspace. Do stay.
This is a pear. It is very sweet.
The first time was at Accra Mall. We got in and Eamon started to read everything he sees in the room.
2-year-olds usually are not reading. They start reading around 4.
I can't explain how he is able to put all these things together. It's really a marvel to us ourselves. I didn't teach him anything of that sort. To sit one-on-one, no. Even if you have your device with you or you are doing something on your PC, he's so curious. He's interested in what is this.
They teach themselves how to read. They teach themselves how to decode words and how to put sounds together.